Hi, let's talk about writing literature reviews. This is going to take up just a very small fraction of this course. And I know that most of you wrote a literature review in COM 2020, so hopefully you're familiar with that process. In this class, the purpose of the literature review is to provide some background knowledge for your big major semester long research project. So we're only going to spend this week on lit reviews, and you'll turn them in next week, and then we move on to way more exciting and fun things. But literature reviews are very important, and I know that you probably are questioning their function at this point, especially having written one. Like, what in the world would you do with this? Why write a lit review? Is this relevant or important at all? So I'm posing these questions to you today. What's the purpose of it? And also, I want you to think about if you ever see literature reviews in non-academic settings. The answers to both of those can kind of be found as we go through our lit review journey here. The purpose is, like I just said, to provide some background research on your topic and to show others who might approach your topic or your project that you did your groundwork and you didn't just come up with this project on your own, that this is an important topic that other people have studied as well. And you also want to start yourself off on the best foot by showing that you have consulted what others have said about your topic first. And you do see literature reviews in non-academic settings. They're just not called literature reviews. If you do a PR campaign, the very first step in that PR campaign is to do your research on that client, on their target audiences, on their target publics. So you definitely see elements of a literature review there. You don't necessarily scour the scholarly literature, but the concept's the same. If you produce a documentary film in the media and entertainment industry, that's all research. All of it is research. Again, not necessarily calling it a literature review, but you probably want to consult some academic literature if you're talking about a really serious topic. It's important to know at least that it's there and how to do it. In organizational and professional communication, you do this all the time if you have professional clients who you're trying to work with to improve their communication strategies. It's important to be able to go to a database or to a group of research on a topic and be able to pull information to help your clients who want to just improve their basic functioning. And then, of course, for journalists, yes, absolutely. It's, again, not necessarily called a literature review, but you really need to know how to pull out the best scholarship for your readers and make it accessible for them. So you do see elements of these, and no matter what profession you go into here in the School of Communication and Media. So in today's lecture, what we're going to do is talk about choosing the best sources for your lit review, and also how to be patient with searching, because sometimes it can be very hard. The one thing that you really start off thinking about are your audience and purpose of this research in general, but also specifically for the next 2 weeks in this class, your literature review. First of all, think about who is this literature review for? Obviously, you're writing it in my class. I'm going to read it. I'm going to grade it. So that's important. But I'm also willing to entertain that your audience might be somebody beyond me. Maybe, like if you were Jennifer last semester, who did her project on first generation Latinx students, her audience was really more for the nonprofit that she worked with that focused on providing resources to the Latinx community, especially in helping first gen Latinx students be successful in college. And so that was articulated from the beginning for her, and we ran with it, and she ended up with a great project. Another thing you want to think about is, why are you writing this? Obviously, for me, for a grade, but I hope there's a bigger why. And I want that bigger why to be so that you can be informed going into this semester long research project. So here's, if you are the type of person like me who likes to break up watching a longer video, you might want to pause this video and take a second in your notes, jot down or type down the who and the why for your project. Think about your short list of topics. Who else besides me might be benefiting from this research that you're doing, and why? Why this topic? Why this approach? Why is this an important topic? All right, so once you've done that, let's get started. Research questions, as we talked about last week, are a great place to start with your literature review. My best recommendation is to do an exploratory study just to kind of see what's out there. So this is where I mentioned at the very beginning, I want you to have a lot of patience in this process. This is so hard. We are so accustomed to a question popping in our heads, and then we go to Google, and within like 2 seconds, we found what we're looking for. And that is not how this process functions at all. And so it can be incredibly frustrating to go back and forth to the databases, to me, to your topic, to try different search terms in Galileo, just to try to find those handful of articles that are going to make this particular lit review that's actually kind of short, relevant for your project, and also a successful one for you to get a good grade on. So I recommend that you start out, if you don't already have a potential research question, here's another good place to pause the video and type out, you've got a short list of topics. What are some questions that you might be curious about with each of those topics? And then you can start searching around in the databases for how you are, or what articles are out there that are the most relevant to answer that research question. So again, just be patient. It takes time. You just have to try different search terms and different ways to approach that specific topic. Sometimes it's like trying to find the magic password or the magic word in order to find the best articles. So also, once you've started to collect a handful of articles, you probably have like some saved PDFs in a folder somewhere on your computer, or you just have them up in a browser tab. Pro tip, make sure you save those PDFs somewhere, because it can be really hard to pull them back up if your browser crashes unexpectedly. Just talking from personal experience here. Let's think about, how do we organize all this? Once you've got like a whole list of sources, a whole bunch of different articles to pull from, how do you go about organizing it? I think 3 is a magic number. 3 is going to come up a lot in this class. It's a really good way to organize a lit review. So think about your topic in terms of thirds. What you want to do by that, I mean, aim for 3 topics to summarize about your work. Okay, so let's say that we are studying body image on social media, because that's a topic that comes up a lot in this class. You're probably going to find thousands, if not millions, of hits on that topic, because there's a lot out there about body image. There's a lot out there about social media. You want to think about what 3 main categories within your personal searching is most relevant to your project and what you want to study. So for me, I might be interested in being really specific with this. My 3 areas would probably be something along the lines of Instagram and young adults. So that narrows down from just broad social media to like one platform, one age group. So that's one topic to talk about. From there, I could talk about just body image and media in general. Again, this is something you could write a dissertation about, but just for purposes of discussion, that could be another small